Do-Rag Wisdom here, folks, and Earth date Y2K 17.12.28. I have a tribal broadcast coming up, but right now I'm doing my feminist one. First, full disclosure, I am not in any way an expert on the feminine human species. Never was, never will be. In fact, even though I'm a married person, I consider myself still mostly a failure when it comes to females. I'm as heterosexual as you could imagine, as filled with lust as any one, I guess, of human nature, but I was never, ever the expert, the ladies' man, the center of female attention. When I was growing up, most of the time, the females of my species were attracted to those creeps, those bullies that used to persecute, that used to hurt. My mother, may she rest in peace, was crazy, psychotic, manic depressive, an abused child herself. So with that being said, I am glad that at my age I am still learning and trying to repair the wounds. Not being completely successful at it, but I'm trying. But I'm still liberal, or I become very liberal, and I'm going to still hopefully become as liberal, as progressive as I can as I get toward the abyss. And this is what I understand. My mentor, Professor Bert Siskin, professor of anthropology, taught me, one, to understand the human species in the context of other species on this planet, as Desmond Morris did in The Naked Ape, and two, to understand our culture, the ideas of our culture, in the context of all other cultures. Our Western culture, is a patriarchal one. The human race has been in existence for 100,000 years, maybe even 200,000 years, and it has mostly been under the rule of men. The female species have been in the service of the male species basically for as long as humans have crawled from the muck, for whatever reason, with few exceptions, because there are matriarchal cultures. Ours is a patriarchal culture, and this seeps down into the religions. It seems that the Western religions in particular, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, all three are patriarchal. You study their scriptures, you study their ideas, they are imbued with the male mentality. When it comes to the religion of Christianity, they went even a step further and actually made a human being a god, or part of a godhead, as if I would bow down to someone that not only looks like me but has a penis and testicles. That's what I need. I need to pray to someone who looks like me. When I would rather, if you want to make me pray to something that looks like me, a human being, whatever it is, let me pray to a goddess. But we have a patriarchal society, and even our Christian brothers and sisters, fellow human beings, have even made of the deity something that is as banal as a human being, and as even more banal, a male human being. Women in our society have been treated like crap for as long as I can remember. And I'd like you all to check out this movie 42nd Street. It was made in the 30s, during that time when they were trying to help people forget the pains of the Great Depression. Watch that movie closely and see the sexual assaults that are going on in that movie by the male characters. Something that was joked about and accepted. See, part of Durag Wisdom's site, my site, deals with culture, the movies, media. I've been really dealing only with politics recently because that's in the emergency room and triage. I mean, this is the important thing we have to deal with right now because I don't want to see the end of our country. But the movies, you study the movies, you could see all kinds of ideas about how of our culture, everything. Just look at how we saw things. You see, that's what amazes me about films. Just looking, it's like a whole movie about how we thought, how we were growing up, how we were thinking. In any event, watch movies that have the female characters. How women are referred to as girls instead of women. All kinds of, with few exceptions, of course. Look at the attitudes. Look at 42nd Street, where it exposes what these women had to deal with, trying to be a success on the stage. This has been a male-dominated society. And its religion, the patriarchal religions, the so-called, and I hate to use this term, Judeo, and then you add Christian to it, and Islamic, women are secondary. Women are considered to be subservient to men with this veneer of, oh, they're holier than us, oh, they're purer than us, they have to be pure. Women have been treated with contempt. And part of that, I hate to say, is the anthropological, the cultural, the religious, all of this stuff makes women subservient. And I believe that now is the time to change all of that around. We have to liberate ourselves from the totalitarianism of the patriarchal society. And I propose a very radical change, which is totalitarian in itself, ironically. I want there to be a glass ceiling for us males. I want women to run everything. Everything. For the next 10, 20, 30, 40,000 years, 100 maybe. As long as the human race can survive, which I doubt at this point. Now, there's a lot to talk about this female rule, total matriarchy. Transfer from patriarchy to matriarchy. So there's a lot of planning to this and more discussion ahead on this. But I'm not surprised by anything that's happened. This creep that's now, this traitor, Trump, that's now in the Oval Office, the sex assaulter, sex supporter of pedophiles. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by the Christian extremists and the Jewish extremists, the Judaism extremists who back him. I'm not surprised by any of this because all of it has always been in the persecution of the female of our species. Ladies, it's time to get these men out of our positions of power. They can't read maps anyways, right? Let's get you folks in charge and let's see what you can do with our world. I know you're going to be contaminated for a while by the male mentality, but given time, and I'll be long gone by then, there'll be a whole different planet if the ladies were in charge. If we had a matriarchy, instead of a stinking, Trumputin, religious extremist, hateful, scummy, bigoted, ignorant patriarchy.